Alright everyone, I'm going to be installing a ProSport oil pressure gauge in my Mustang here. We have the gauge here, wiring. Also, what makes this easy is this sandwich oil filter plate. This means you don't have to do any drilling or do anything for the pressure sensor. You just put this in place of the oil filter and then put your oil filter on this. Pretty straightforward. Basically, we're just going to be doing an oil change on the car. It needs one. Putting this in its place, screwing on the filter, and then following the instructions. The red wire on here is for 12 volt accessory power. The black goes to a ground inside the car. The yellow line goes to 12 volt power, and then the green line on here goes to the G terminal on the oil pressure sensor. And then we just need a line to go from the WK terminal on here to just to a ground. So should be pretty straightforward. I also got one of these air vent holders. These are discontinued by Roush, but you can find them online at like Etsy or some other places as 3D printed. So I'm going to be installing it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. The first thing you want to do is you want to lift your car, however that may be. It's actually too short for me to roll it up on the ramp, so I had to lift it up first and then place the ramps under it. So I'm going to go ahead and start draining the oil and getting the oil filter out of there. Alright, lighting's not going to be the best under the car, but what we're going to want to do is drain the oil first. Engine is a bit hot. That should be fine. There we go. I'm going to let this drain first and then go ahead and tackle the oil filter right here. So this is where the filter is located. We're just going to take that off, get the sandwich plate on, and then we can proceed with getting everything wired up into the engine compartment. Alright, so I got it loosened with my tool, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this oil filter now. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and then get the new sandwich plate for the oil filter on there. So to do this just a bit off screen, they make this so that this is the only thing that screws in, so this allows you to rotate it to wherever you want it to be. So to get the most room out of all this, I'm going to have it angled about right here. I'm going to thread in the bit so it'll come out just about right here, right next to the steering rack. Looking at it, I mean, I might be able to make it work upwards, but I want to be able to get to all these wires fairly easily, so I'm going to have it angled like that. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down and then get the sensor in there. Alright, so I got the adapter on there pretty much snugged up, the sensor as well plugged in, and then I have the new oil filter here, topped off with oil and oil on the gasket, so I'm going to go ahead and get this installed. There we go. Took a little bit, but I got it. And then you only want to get oil filters on just tight enough, just hand tight, because you gotta be able to remove them next time. And taking a look at this, I'm actually not sure I'd be able to get my oil filter wrench on here next time. I might need to get a different style. I have one of the socket types that just goes on the bottom. Alright, now that we have the sandwich plate installed, we have these two, so WK needs to go to some type of ground, so I'll just find something real close and just ground it off. I mean, one of these bolts up here, something can work. Even, I guess, something in frame, I mean, I could even do it right there or something. Or even right here, actually, there's a stud right there. That might be able to go, like, just loop right there. So I'm going to go ahead and go topside, and I'm going to go ahead and get things ready for the wiring. Alright, so on the inside, trying to get the pod installed. If you get the air vent type, like I did, Basically, it's pretty easy to take apart, so you just grab in here with your 2 fingers, pop it completely out. On the actual bezel here, you'll have the flappers here. They just pop out. They got 2 notches on the side. That's it in there. You can see the little notches. And then you can take your gauge pod holder and slide it in there. There is a divot on the inside, you can see right there, that it sits on. It's like a rail. And then it pops into the 2 areas there. So from here, we can go ahead and pop on the bezel trim. This would also be a decent time to put new vinyl on it or new chrome. Mine's kind of chipped, but who cares? But oh well. I'm going to go ahead and get this on here. It's kind of hard to see, but it just pops in. There are tab here, tab... Kind of hard to see, but there's a tab here, and a tab here, and there's a tab on the other side. 2 tabs on the other side. It matches up here, right there, right there, right there, and right there. Now that that is all together, you can feed your gauge in, and then feed the wires through, and they'll come out around down here. Alright, so I got this all in here. You can actually rotate it. So it's hard to see, but it says oil pressure in there, under there. Once it's illuminated, you'll see it a lot easier. But you can actually swivel it, because this is just how these AC vents work. But I routed the cabling down there. It's kind of hard to see, but there they are, right there. Got them routed down here, so and tied down so it didn't get dragged back up there when I was readjusting it. So now these are all ready to go to power and whatnot. So one of the lines does have to go through there. They have a lot of useful grommets that we can utilize. We just go right through the firewall there into the engine bay to go ahead and get the rest of the pump wired, or the sensor wired. Alright, I am running the cable from inside the cabin to the fuel filter adapter there. You can actually see it right there. I ended up having to take out the fender liner because that's where this inside area that I showed you exits. So I got my wire through there. Basically just a little nipple there. You just poke a little hole in there and thread it through. So what now I'm going to do is I'm going to route this cable down and round out of all this way, probably along with these electronics. And then off, I'd say the brake ABS line here, I'm just going to route it right over to there. Just go straight over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and cut back once I have that done. Alright, so I have the wire now ran along the ABS line down through here. I actually even put it in the shielding bit there, or the pigtail stuff, the shroud. Put it in the wire shroud here. And I left a little bit extra here, and that is going to be going into the adapter right over there, or the sensor. Also added a lot of cabling inside the cabin because you want more than enough when you're running these. So I'm going to go ahead and get that connected now. Alright, as you can see here, the sensor is wired in now. That is the G terminal, so this line is going to go up to the green cable from the gauge pod there. Now the WK terminal, which is the second one there, that just needs to go to a ground, so I'm just going to find a random bolt around here and ground it out. Alright, so I got the oil pressure sensor all wired up here. The G terminal and WK terminal are all wired. I remembered I had these special terminal bits or terminations, so I went back and did it on that one. But that's where I ended up grounding it, just right on this bolt. And probably zip tie this out of the way, but that's pretty much all you need to do on the bottom side. The rest of the wiring just needs to be done on the inside. So this wire goes up, and I believe it goes to the green cable, and the rest goes to power. And I'm going to go ahead and show you that now. Alright, so the cable routed from the oil pressure sensor up through here. Just got it zip tied up. So, kind of hard to see here, but I have the cable connected right there to the green one, and I just have it secured down. The black cable goes to a ground, so I just grounded it out right there. Just real simple. Now that we have left is these yellow and green, so these both go to power. So the red one goes to accessory power and yellow goes to power, both 12 volts. So I'm gonna take a look and see what exactly that means. If they just both need 12 volt power, then You can easily just get it from the fuse box, passenger fuse box there, so I'm going to get started working on that. Alright, so I got the wiring done. You can see the red cable here and the yellow cable here. Basically I routed them through the center console here to the other side to the fuse panel. That's just the ground that I had already done when I showed you. So I've already done quite a bit of wiring inside my fuse panel box here. So you can see this line right here is the new one. I actually just put both in the same fuse. They both take 12 volt power, and I put it in the fuse 18 for ABS, so once I turn on the car it'll get power, so right now it's not getting power. I don't see any reason why I can't put both in there. It just saves room. I use two 10 amp fuses. That's what the fuse 18 goes to, so just check your manual. Let me show you that here actually. So your owner's manual should have a fuse diagram like this with all the fuses and what they do. They should have an interior fuse box, and usually in the passenger or driver's side, and then a fuse box inside the engine bay. So this makes it pretty easy to wire some things in with the diagram. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up everything and then start up the car so I can show you the gauge pod working. Alright, now that I got everything all cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and get things started here. I'm going to take off this, has a little plastic bit. Best part of getting a new product is tearing off the plastic. Alright, so let's see if it turns on. Yep, power. Perfect. So as you can see there, that's a direct feed from my oil pressure. And everything's all working. It's pretty nice, very nice product. It looks super clean and it's easy to read. It's got the actual number and then a dial as well, so that's pretty neat. So very impressed with ProSports here with their gauges. And also another reason I got it is because the color of the display matches my gauge cluster here too. So that was another big reason I did that. So I'm going to end it off there. Great gauge is a pretty straightforward installation. I'm also going to be installing a ProSport wideband O2 sensor, and I'm going to be doing that on a pillar gauge there. Or I'm going to be installing it on the A pillar here with those 3 pods. I'm going to have my oil pressure. I'm going to have over here, I'm going to have my wideband O2. I'm going to be installing a supercharger on my Mustang here soon, so I'm also going to be getting PSI, boost gauge, and then an IAT, so intake air temperature gauge from ProSports. So I'm going to be installing all of those and making videos on those too. So I just taught you how to install an oil pressure gauge on your car. Pretty much is the same for any car. This is not specific to the Mustang. And then I'll show you how to do the wideband O2, the intake air temperature sensor, and the boost gauge. So stay tuned for that. It was a pretty easy install, and thanks for watching.